Guys, how long have you been, this project, Get Your Kicks at 66, this video project of yours, it's pretty darn impressive.
Thank you.
I gotta tell you, I'm really happy with what you're doing here. Secret Pass video. Now
That's fun.
That wasn't an easy task.
Especially with his wife. That was her first time keeping.
Don't hit me when I get home.
So we'll start with this. Which one is Jack and which one's Jay?
I'm Jack, and that's Jay.
And I'm Jay.
Makes it easy enough. We've got an audience with us this morning. We've got folks from Louisiana, or Louisville, Kentucky, and Iowa, Netherlands. All kinds of folks watching us this morning.
Good morning, everybody.
So, how long have you been doing? First of all, how long have you guys been doing this together? This is.
Well, when did we start?
We started about, the end of November we started this, and God brought us together, got us in tune to each other. I walked up to Jay and said, God has this inspiration that people our age should be getting out and doing things. And so the whole thing was inspired about different things to do, different places to go and see, and take somebody you don't know.
Ooh, boy, that's it sounds like you've been reading my mail. That's, encouraging people to get out. First of all, encouraging people, this last couple of years especially, and inspiring a road trip or an adventure. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. And at the same time, we provide a service by promoting Kingman and what we have here. Because we live here on purpose, and this is a good place.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize all the stuff that's just right here in their own backyard that they can be doing. And that's what we're trying to do, bring attention to all that, just like you with your walking tours and everything, trying to get people out and about.
We've, the walking tours, we'll talk a little bit more of that, but I'm working with Kingman Main Street to develop a narrated, self-guided historic walking tour with QR codes and whatnot downtown. Kind of a fun project, and coming up with some pretty interesting stuff. And you guys are now doing the video with Chillin' on Beale, right? You're going to be doing that this year?
Yes, we will. I've been working with Chillin' on Beale for, probably 6 or 7 years. I've known Gene Kirkham for a long time, and I've done all the photography for Chillin' on Beale. I'm one of the sponsors. So if you guys have been at Chillin' on Beale, if you had your cars out there, chances are I have photos of them. And last year we did a calendar as well. So look for more of those to be available also coming up in the upcoming season.
Yeah, Chillin' on Beale, Gene and his crew, they just work so tirelessly on putting that together, and that is a real godsend for this community. It's that's just impressive. And the way anybody's been able to hold things together this last 2 years during the apocalypse has been pretty impressive. Because long-term planning is, what are we going to do on Thursday? It's almost impossible to. How's your YouTube channel taking off? Doing pretty well with it, or?
Well, we're starting to get some subscribers. So guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, check it out. GetYourKicksAt66.com. That'll take you right to our YouTube channel. We're up to about 55 people right now, but like we say, we only started about a month and a half ago. So we're trying to get this thing off the ground and get it growing and just get some interest. And Jim, we appreciate you having us here. That's going to help a lot.
Well, it's my pleasure. This whole thing is about teamwork, building teams and partnerships, cooperative partnerships. That's how we accomplish this. And it's not a Jim show. It's about us. It's about Kingman. It's about the people that are out there doing things, and people who are contributing and doing exactly what you're doing. That's what this whole thing is about. Do you do a lot of off-road stuff too, or?
Yeah, we do off-road jeeping. We do moderate trails. We're not into the rock crawling. It's more about scenic, so we can get everybody can go.
Yeah.
Kids, whatever. That's what it's about. It's family oriented.
Yeah.
Then we do magnetic fishing, which is a new hobby that I just took off on.
How's that work?
That works. We got a 1,500-pound magnet, and you tie a rope to it, and you throw it off the pier where people fish or they boat, and you pick up things from the bottom and clean up the bottom. At the same time, you find rings, chains. It's kind of an adventure.
Yeah, that would definitely be an adventure. See who or what you pull up from the bottom of the lake.
Yeah. Then we've got electric bike. We're going to feature electric bike that we have. I bought one a year ago and lost 50 pounds, so you get out and exercise. You get to see Kingman, because you can't ride the hills. Being my age, I can't get up the hill, but the electric bike goes up it just fine.
You're still a youngster.
And then we do balloons, and we just do it all. What we're looking for is just to get people out, show them new adventures, things they haven't thought of, things they want to do.
We've got so many new people moving into Kingman, and we've got people that's lived here 15, 20 years, and they don't realize what amazing things that we have here to offer.
Yeah,
and
rocks are incredible here. I mean, gemstones.
And the trail system that they're putting together now on the Surbat Foothills Recreation Area and White Cliffs, just an impressive trail system. You mentioned gemstones. Going back, this was really how old I really am. But my first paying job was for Ed Edgerton up at Ed's camp as a kid. And he was quite a geologist, cantankerous old dry roasted nut, desert rat kind of fella. And he drugged me all over those hills. I was too young to really appreciate the opportunity. But Ed claimed that every mineral, including industrial diamonds, had been found in Mojave County at one time. Wow. So it gives you something to kind of shoot for.
Yeah, Jay and I found a rock that we really don't know what it is. It's magnetic, but there's no metal content to it. We put the metal detector to it, it shows nothing, zero. And yet you put a magnet to it and it jumps right to it. So we can't explain what it is. There's, what, a half a dozen of those rocks up there?
Yeah, I think a couple folks who showed it to think it's maybe a meteorite.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. But those usually have a lot of iron content.
No iron, it shows nothing.
Yeah, it's strange.
Zero. It's the strangest.
The metal detector doesn't.
We put it on our Facebook, on our YouTube channel. It's in that rock hunting thing we did, and we asked people to, if they know what it is or have an idea, to let us know.
Yeah, so guys, if you go to our YouTube channel and you see that video, it's I forgot where it was at. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's right up here at Bull Mountain.
Bull Mountain, that's right.
Well, the old feldspar mines.
Yeah.
Up there.
Yeah, so if any of you guys know what that rock is, feel free
I
to
found it
comment
by
and let us
accident.
know.
My pick has a magnet on the end, so it jumped to the magnet. And I thought, well, I wonder what's in there. Then I took the metal detector and nothing. So it was a fluke that we found it.
You know, it's funny. That's how most everything we find out here is more of an accident. But have you ever been out to the Franconia area, the old railroad siding at Franconia?
No, sir.
I'll get you some directions out there. I think
That'd
you'd
be
really
great.
enjoy that. It's real easy to get to, except I'll give everybody a warning ahead of time: sand, deep sand,
Okay.
for about 2 miles of just really deep sand. But quite a history there. I was out there recently, and one of the things that surprised me is it was a railroad siding and supply point for a lot of the area mines. It's just west of Yucca, right off I-40. There's a small cemetery there and then concrete slabs where the buildings were. But somebody's been maintaining some of the graves out there. They've been putting flowers out on a regular basis and different things. And pretty interesting to find that. There was 2 major train wrecks there. One in 1901 that was just horrendous. 2 high-speed freights head-on collision, and then a passenger train and a freight train in 1945. So it's a pretty interesting historic place, but we'll get you directions to that out there too.
Yeah, that's basically what we're opening up, is places to go, things to do like chloride, the painted murals. We're working on that right now, so people can go see that and also see the town of Chloride.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting little restaurant that I saw there. I had never been there. And yesterday, but they told me it wasn't yesterday's food.
Well, that's damn good to hear. They used to have, he's probably passed away now because this is 15, 20 years ago, but they had a fellow from the Plaza Hotel in New York who was their pastry chef, who actually lived in Chloride and baked pies for the yesterdays. Oof. As you can tell, I like pie. Your Secret Pass adventure, that's an interesting historic area, but that's not easy to access back there. That's kind of a challenge.
Well, it's a class 5 trail supposedly,
Yeah.
and some people block part of it off. It's really not a bad trail. Would you say you need a 4x4? I think you
For
just need
the
a high
first
clearance.
part of it, I would say you could get by with just your pickup truck, maybe. You know?
Ground clearance.
Right, but once you go past Finger Butte, I believe it's called Finger Butte. Everybody, if you go to Laughlin, you've always seen that Finger Mountain. So you go past that, and then it gets a little bit more rocky and bumpy.
So you come in from the Colorado River side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right off of 68. It's Buckwash Road.
Yeah.
Turn left onto Buckwash Road, and that'll take you back to the Finger.
We met some folks up there that come in from the Oakland side. Said it wasn't too bad, but you needed a 4x4. There's a couple of places that he said, but ground clearance was mainly it.
Yeah. You know, I look back on it, I guess it's part of age. We're when we're younger, we just don't seem to have enough sense to know better, and we just you know, fumble. But I used to wander all this desert country and was working ranches and things around here. The best off-road vehicle I'd had until I got this little Cherokee. In fact, this is really the first real 4x4 I've ever had. I had a 46 GMC pickup with 17-inch wheels and tires. I'd put a few hundred pounds of rocks in the back and pull out the throttle knob and hold on. And I used tires out of the junkyard, and God, I can't believe I used to do that stuff.
I thought you were going to tell me it was a mule named Betsy.
Betsy, you know, I'm not quite that bad, but it's close. It's close. Fig Springs, you ever get out there? Fig Springs at the base of the Black Mountains. I've heard some people were trying to develop that in there, but
Peach Springs we've been to, but not Fish Springs.
yeah, Fig Springs is the base of the Black Mountains, and it was in the Ripley's, believe it or not, for a long time. The world's largest fig trees, just huge, monstrous fig trees out there. It's part of the Benelli Ranch.
Okay.
I see we got some talking to do.
Yeah.
What's the best? Where's the best places you guys have been? Do you have a
Pass
favorite?
was fun. We've been over to the petroglyphs out Christmas Tree Pass out by Laughlin.
Yeah.
That was a fun ride, which we still have to give you guys some video of that. We got a lot of stuff in the queue we're working on to put up for you guys. What else would you say was adventurous and fun for us?
Been out to the Bunker Bar, kind of a interesting character out there that started a restaurant and everything out there. And
Where's this then?
it's on the way to Lake Havasu, and it's halfway between Highway 40 and the town of Havasu. And you go to the left, and the fella that started it thought he could do it for a couple $1,000s. It's kind of an interesting story. Then he had to grade a road 1.4 miles for ambulances and fire trucks in order to put his restaurant up. So it ended up being a bigger adventure than he wanted, but off of the California Peace Trail, he couldn't do the Peace Trail due to the fact that that's part of the Arizona Peace Trail, and they wouldn't let him do it, so he had to cut his own road.
God.
So if you guys don't know, the Arizona Peace Trail is it's an off-road trail that goes about 700 miles. It goes throughout western Arizona from
Yuma.
up towards this area, towards Kingman.
Yeah.
There's a
Goes
lot
all
of
through
it
those
up here.
mountains. Yeah.
Some really, speaking of these trail systems, I was talking to Householder, Mr. Householder, and they're working on a trail to go from incredible down by Nogales up to Las Vegas, Nevada.
Wow.
And their plan is to take it up around Flagstaff, and then follow as much of the Beal Wagon Road as they can
Okay.
across, and then up
That would be a neat trip.
through White Hills. More ambitious than me, I think. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe us too. I'll take Jay's Jeep just in case.
That's all right.
Yeah, there's just so much around here to get out. Another thing that you might really find interest, and I'll get you the link to it, Aviation Archaeology, Chris Fuller. I'll put yourself on his mailing list. He researches plane wrecks, mostly military, and what he'll do is notify you when he's in the area, and if you want to go with him, he goes out and locates military
That
plane
sounds
wrecks.
fun.
And it's astounding how many military plane wrecks from the 1930s through the 50s that we have, basically from Baus, just south of the Bill Williams River, up to Pierce Ferry, and then over towards, Ash Fork, that area there. Literally hundreds and hundreds of planes have gone down, and especially during World War II.
Yeah, one of the trips I want to go on is that Bill Williams Loop. Everybody's talked about how pretty that is up on top.
Bill Williams Loop. Oh, going up to Bill Williams Mountain?
Yeah, it's up there by Parker, between Parker and Lake
Yeah.
Havasu, and you can see both places from the top of the mountain, I understand, and it's flat up there.
Is it the Burns Loop?
Burns Trail?
George Burns Loop?
George Burns Loop, that's what it was.
There's some interesting places. If you get up there, Crossman Peak, which is just outside of Havasu. If there's a trail, you go up on top of Crossman's Peak, and on the southwest side, if you look down into the canyon, there's two radial engines down in the bottom of the canyon. And most of the wreckage has been cleaned up, but a B17 hit that peak during the war.
Wow.
And the motors, well, as of a couple of years ago, the engines were still down in the bottom of the canyon. Nobody could pull them out of there. So.
That's just an example. I've lived here for over 20 years. It's just in the last month or so I've seen this stuff I had no idea was around. So if you guys have been here a while and you haven't gone out, there's all kinds of stuff in the backyard, your own backyard.
It's I'm smart enough now to realize the more I learn, the more I realize how little I know. Because it's just a constant discovery.
Yeah.
So you've lived here about 20 years?
Yeah, I moved here in 2001.
Where are you from?
I'm from Michigan originally,
Oh.
Detroit. Yeah, that's my hometown. But I've lived in Colorado. I've lived in Tucson, but bulk of my life I've been in Arizona.
My pa's family was all Jackson, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson, Vandercook Lake, that area.
Mm-hmm.
There. Where are you from originally?
I'm kind of a vagabond. I was a photographer most of my life, and the last 20 years I spent full-time RVing with my wife. And she got sick, and the only doctor that could figure out what her illness was here. So that's how we ended up in Kingman. But we were with work campers, and we got to travel all over the United States, so I got to see some quite interesting things.
Yeah, my folks used to tease me that I was potty trained on the road because we were on the road so much when I was a kid. And we ended up here in the summer of '66, and the first time. And I can't make this stuff up. I'm just not that imaginative. My dad was Navy and Coast Guard, and Coast Guard on the Great Lakes, and then Navy during the war. And he literally, when he got out in '66, he had decided he'd had enough of the water, and he literally folded a map so there was no desert area, and he threw a dart. Yucca, Arizona was the closest, so we packed up from Michigan and we headed out here to.
Wow.
And I say this often, but I really thought this was the place they warned me about in Sunday school. It was just not a pretty picture, and it wasn't bad enough that we moved out here. It was that we, like I say, we moved out along Oatman Road. It was an educational experience, to say the very least.
Yeah, especially out there.
You mentioned, this river country and stuff down there. This is the perfect time to be out there in the desert. January, February, December. It's no good in the summer, but it's
Fun in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Winter heaven.
Why don't you just go the other direction? That's one of the nice things about living here. We'll go the other direction, and
Go high.
summer go up towards Peach Springs and
Yeah.
Seligman and up that way.
And another place I want to go is down to the Confederate Air Force down in Buckeye. And that's a really interesting place. I know Jay hadn't been there yet. I've been there several times. And those people that put that work back into those military aircraft are quite phenomenal.
Yeah, it's the labor of love that goes into that. Were you out there when we had the B-17 come into
I
Canada?
missed it. Unfortunately, I was out of town, but I have seen it before when it came through a few years ago.
It was a well-attended celebration of that gentleman's 100th birthday, and it was just really nice to see that B-17 come in.
Yeah, I was sad to miss that, but I'm glad they got to do that for him.
Yeah.
That was a great tribute to his
So,
service.
so what kind of plans do you have what kind of outings? Do you do this on a regular basis? Invite people?
We're attempting to do at least 1 to 2 outings a week. We like to post once a week at least. And our backlog right now is getting enough time between the two of us to do everything. And
Yeah, we have a bunch of content coming up, guys. We're just getting it all together, and just the logistics of
it's a learning process.
coordinating all that and get it posted. We're working on that for you guys.
I understand, guys. You know, I do this Mayberry television stuff. I do this, and then a weekly in the morning audio podcast Monday through Friday. And I joke about it being Mayberry television, but that's the best way I can describe it. It's technology is frustrating and huge time consuming. When you get into video editing, like you guys, that's just monstrous time.
Yeah.
And if you got a job too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work at night and then I do this during the day.
Well, it's very good. Well, I'll get you some ideas. We'll talk a little bit and share some ideas on some adventures. Much hiking involved, or do you guys mostly just do ATV, Jeep, and?
Well, a little bit of hiking, walking, like we said, the idea is to get folks out
Right.
off the couch and out and about, but we don't want to make it hard.
No, I know.
So-
Well, it's the same with me. I don't do the rock crawling, and I don't get myself into places that are too intense. And I have trouble admitting this, but I might be starting to get a little old. This walking 20-mile stuff is kind of something we're not doing much of anymore. But there's some stuff, great places. And one that I'll get you some information on. That would be a great outing for a family. It's a little bit long on the walking, but it's easy. It's about 4 miles each way. It's Johnson Canyon Railroad Tunnel. It was a railroad tunnel built in the 1880s. And it's really neat to walk through. It's got a riveted iron ceiling and all stone faces. And it's a relatively easy walk because you're just following the old rail bed. So it's not a...
Where's that located?
Near Ash Fork.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just outside Ash Fork.
We'll put that on our list.
And there's a steel dam there at Ash Fork too. One of, I think, only 2 left. The railroad built these prefabricated steel dams that they could just bring in and rivet together, all pre-done. And there's one of those at Ash Fork too, on Ash Creek. I just have been so impressed with what you guys have been doing, and then you're helping Gene and chilling on Beale, and that's just impressive.
Yeah, I can tell you without giving stuff away, Gene has some big plans for Chilling on Bill this year, so guys, just stay tuned for that and follow them on Facebook as well.
You know, I want to give a holler real quick to a couple of folks too that really helped me so much on this, and of course one of them is the city of Tucumcari. They have just been a real godsend on sponsoring and supporting a lot of what I do and encouraging. And speaking of, rock hunting, things of that nature, that's a huge fossil area if you get over around Tucumcari. They've got an absolutely astounding dinosaur museum there and fossil museum.
Talking about Tucumcari, New Mexico?
Yeah. A bit of a drive for, it's for not quite a weekend getaway, but it's only 700 miles. Well, guys, thank you for doing this morning, and I hope we get you some traffic, and I really want to encourage folks to subscribe. Nolan, thank you. Nolan Stoltz just said that he is subscribed to your YouTube channel.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nolan.
Peter, good morning. How are things in Austria? We run pretty much an international audience with this thing, which always surprises me, but that people watch me beat my gums like that.
It's amazing how much interest there is in Route 66 themed stuff from overseas.
Route 66 is the low-hanging fruit for Kingman and these communities along Route 66. But if you can use that as a gateway, if you will, to bring people to what you're doing. You bring them in on Route 66, and then you can show them the rest, spread things out. And my thinking is, if we make a place people want to visit, we make it a place they want to live, and raise families, and open businesses. And you've done a bunch of traveling, and I can't think of many places much better than this. The climate and everything here is just... One of my biggest complaints is this, I don't know, day after day in the middle of winter, 60 degrees and sunshine. I mean, how much of this can a person stand?
It's horrible, folks. It's horrible.
It makes it hard to start. You really have to get up in the morning and look for something to complain about. It's a challenge. But that's what we do. Guys, thank you for doing this, and we'll get some of their videos up. I'll get those shared over for you later this morning, guys. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. And I think you're going to really find these videos that these boys are putting together quite inspirational. And I talk about that my goal in life is to tell people where to go, but these guys may best me on that. They're pretty handy at that.
It's a team effort, Jim, as you say. And folks, if you want to find our YouTube channel, just go to getyourkicks@66.com. It'll take you right to it.
Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see everybody, or hear everybody tomorrow morning on our podcast, Wake Up with Jim, 5:30 Mountain Standard Time.